This is the Archems.ai Daily Digest. Artificial Intelligence, Law and Technology in 5 minutes. We are moving past the era of the simple chatbot. The real challenge now is not just the model, but the environment that governs it as it moves from generating text to taking actual actions. When we move from a chatbot to an agent, we run into a problem called role drift. Imagine a system where one module plans and another solves. If you only reward the final answer, the planner starts doing all the heavy lifting. The solver is reduced to just copying answers. You are still paying for the compute, but the independent work has vanished. This makes the system brittle and impossible to audit. To fix this, researchers are using role anchor. It is a technique that makes role instructions part of the training objective. It ensures a module actually stays in its lane rather than taking a shortcut to the right answer. This is why we are seeing a push toward governed runtimes like AgentTau. Instead of trusting the model, AgentTau uses a local-first architecture to make permissions and audit traces explicit parts of the system. It treats governance as a runtime property rather than a prompting trick. Having a governed runtime is one thing. Knowing if the agent is actually succeeding is another. The current problem is that most AI judges are fooled by fluency. They see a confident, well-written response and mark it as a success, even if the agent failed the task. This is the dangerous false pass. To combat this, a new method called rubric forge induces a judging rubric from actual ground truth labels. It does not just look for a right answer. It looks for specific evidence, like whether a user was actually authenticated or if an order was verified. The result is a metric that is harder to fool. It recognizes the difference between an agent that sounds like it solved the problem and an agent that actually did. This shifts the focus from aggregate agreement to faithfulness. This need for governance stems from how these models are actually organized. New research shows that LLMs develop a modular organization that mirrors the human brain. They segregate language, physical reasoning, social inference, and formal logic into distinct neuron populations. This is not something engineers programmed. It emerges spontaneously from task optimization to prevent different types of thinking from interfering with each other. We see this in mixture of experts' architectures as well. Analysis of the QN model shows that sensitivity is depth-dependent. The early and middle layers are fragile and critical. The late layers are redundant and can tolerate significant expert masking. This suggests that the way a model processes a task changes fundamentally as the signal moves through the network. These architectural breakthroughs require massive physical scale. NVIDIA and OpenAI are currently building AI factories in Ohio, investing billions into power and compute infrastructure to fuel the next industrial revolution. But as the scale grows, the risk of blind trust becomes catastrophic. Look at the cold card hack. A firmware flaw in seed generation went unnoticed for 5 years because the community assumed the open source code was being verified. It was not. Over $100 million in Bitcoin was drained because the security model relied on reputation rather than actual verification. It is a stark reminder that whether it is a billion-dollar data center or a hardware wallet, the system is only as secure as the governance layer enforcing it. The through line today is the struggle for control. We are seeing a move away from trusting the black box of the model and toward building rigorous harnesses around it. Whether that is through role anchor in training, rubric forge in evaluation, or the physical infrastructure in Ohio, the goal is the same. We are trying to turn unpredictable intelligence into a governable system. If we fail to build those boundaries now, We are just training a dog to hunt rabbits and leaving the gate wide open. That's all for today. Thanks for listening and see you tomorrow on artgems.ai.